Hello everybody, and I hope you're going to have a nice Thanksgiving today. Been well over a week since I made a video, which has come away from my pace where I was making 2 videos a week there for a while, but had to get back to work. And the book I'm currently reading is a bit of a chunker, just shy of 900 pages, Exodus by Peter F. Hamilton. I should finish this in, I don't know, before the year ends, I hope, and I had this I hope to get in before the end of the year too, and I am reading One Piece and crossed the 1,000 chapter mark, and so I'll have to binge that a little bit and hopefully get that done by the end of the year. I started last December on that, and I guess it'll take me a whole year to have gotten caught up. If I'd have tried, pushed a little harder, it could have been done by now, but you know, it's not going anywhere. So I wondered, since I hadn't done a video in a while, is there a Thanksgiving Day book tag? And sure enough, there is. Obviously, it wants you to tag other people, but I thought maybe I should have done it some other day so people could do it on Thanksgiving, or if they want to do it on Thanksgiving, they're going to be busy. And then after Thanksgiving, it's a little too late, so you want to do it, you do it. I just happened to be sitting there before I go have lunch with family and whatnot. So here we go. This was created by Anna's Book Nook. I did not find this on YouTube. Question number 1. Friends and Family, a book with characters that feel like family. So I have mentioned this series a number of times on my channel here. They are Dungeons and Dragons books. They are based on Greyhawk. We have, it's a trilogy by Paul Kidd. We have White Plume Mountain, we have Descent into the Depths of the Earth, and Queen of the Demon Web Pits. Let's see if I can get that glare off. There is Giant Spider Loth, Demon Queen of Spiders. So this is, you have this fellow here. This is Justicar, the Justicar he calls himself. Here we have Ashala. This is a sentient pelt, but it's only pelt, but it does breathe fire. There is a Sphinx. There is this fellow helps them carry their stuff around. These are Guardians of the Galaxy before there was Guardians of the Galaxy. These are fun. It takes itself, he just keeps a narrow path between this is absurd and this is serious. So it doesn't take itself perfectly seriously, but at the same time, this is not just fun and games all the time. And so you have this wonderful camaraderie, found family between these characters that run into each other. The first one is more, feels like a dungeon crawl. This one, even though it is a dungeon crawl, for some reason doesn't feel like one. It's just them going into their environment, and this is their final battle here with the arch villain. Although she is just the arch villain towards the end, I think she gets some sense of them in this one as they go closer to her domain there. And then this one's just, this could have been a book by itself. Wonderful reading there. It's just lots of fun. Nothing particularly deep here, but it's just written really well and a good time to read. We're going to put these down here. Prompt number 2, Fallen Leaves, a book that fell flat and didn't meet your expectations. So I started reading Jeff Vandermeer this year, and the Southern Reach trilogy. I really enjoyed it a lot. And for some reason, I don't know what it is, a lot of people, you know, what is Area X? Well, it kind of tells you in the 3rd book, so, but people still feel all mysterious about it, and I did a video on it if you want to go check it out and see what the answer actually is. A 4th book came out, he was supposedly all done with it. Bam, comes out with Absolution, did a video on this. This is a prequel to Southern Reach, and parts of this are actually really good, but overall I wasn't that happy with it. Just didn't quite hit it out of the park like the others did, and it just winds up, you know, awesome on one hand and mediocre in others, and I just could not get into it as much as I would have liked to. Number 3, Thanksgiving Dinner, a book you want to read every year during this season. So I'm going way back machine here. This is an omnibus of part of Frank Miller's run in the 80s on Daredevil. And this is by all means not all of it. I don't have 100% of it, but I got pretty close with individual issues, and one of those things I got to finish off. But this is it's a downfall and a rise. So this lady here is an ex-girlfriend of Daredevil there, and she was a full-on junkie. And there is a scene here where she's trying to get a fix, and she exchanges information saying Daredevil is Matt Murdock. And the kingpin of crime, who has fingers everywhere, gets this information and then proceeds to destroy his life to then destroy him. Blows up his house. He can't work. He's homeless now. He's losing his mind. He goes, challenges the kingpin, and he's not in top form. Gets his behind handed to him, and thrown into a taxi, thrown in a river. But he survives. And on it goes to how he brings himself back. The Captain America makes a cameo in this, a very good cameo in this. The Avengers show up briefly and has there's a combination of panels in here. I won't spoil it all, so if you go to read this, they're just going to hit you really hard. Of Captain America in one and Thor in another, and it's just one of the coolest little things. If I just pick out like top 10, top 20 moments in comics, it's in here. Just this cool little moment in there. Daredevil. I read that, even though I got this as a Christmas gift, and it's winter here, so even though I guess it's more of a Christmas thing than Thanksgiving, but it fit the bill. Some of these was I supposed to do just this year? It's kind of a mix of things this year and previous. Oh well, what are you going to do? I had to give good answers without repeating myself too much. Number 4, Turkey, a book with a bird in it. So, one of my favorite things this year, Vandermeer. This is called A Strange Bird. But I don't know if you could read this by itself. You might be able to and enjoy it, but this precedes it. This is Born by Jeff Vandermeer. I guess Born could be considered bird-like, but he's kind of a combination of things. And it's just such a fun character creature to read about as he befriends this man and this woman. And, well, her primarily. The dude wants this thing going because he thinks it's dangerous. And he has to do everything he can to resist consuming them. And so this sets up an environment and a world so that when you read this, you're already in that world. And the bird here is this creation that was an experiment like this. The experiments wrecked the planet, and Born comes out of it, but so does this strange bird. And it's just a quick read, wonderful read of its beginning to, the finish. So, Born and the Strange Bird. Number 5, Ham, a book that made your eyes glaze over. Boring. So here's Moby Dick by Henry Melville. So I wanted to like this so bad because throughout my life I grew up with this without having to read it because, for example, Star Trek. The Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, uses this book as its main theme, obsession over this thing that had done you wrong. And there's a lot of movies that do this, and they take it right out of here. A lot of quotes from this book and other things. So the thing is supposed to be Ahab going after the white whale. He's obsessed with it. Well, that's like this much of the book. It has a great intro, and I was impressed by certain things we would now call progressive in it. But a lot of this is just, well, here we are sailing. Hey, let me tell you about ambergris for an entire day of reading. And so the Ahab stuff, I spit my last thing at the, is right at the end of the thing. And it's really not about that. Ahab's he's introduced. And then for like 99% of the book, he's this distant figure. We don't get into his head. And then at the end, and you know the story. So I just could not believe. I thought this was going to be one of the greatest things I've ever read. Nope, not even close. Number 6, Dinner Rolls A book that melted your heart and made you feel warm. I guess I don't know if it's new, but the phrase I keep coming across is cozy fantasy. And that's what this is. This is just, everyone went gaga over that cover, The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. And this is just a nice, warm book. She leaves, her city is invaded. She leaves, she goes back to where she came from, this island. She's hoping to stay hidden there. She takes some magic works with her. And behind the backs of the people who live there, she performs some magic to kind of help out the community. And she's trying to hide that away in case they come hunting for her. And there is a romance here that works for the most part, but it's not the focus. And just good, nice reading. A nice book that doesn't go bonkers with action or gratuity. Number 7, Mashed Potatoes, a book with a white cover. Well, that was easy. Just a simple one. So there's quite a few. I just grabbed one. So I tried to read, I believe it was Brent Weeks and his assassin book, Night Angel trilogy. And I didn't quite get into it that well. It was a little too, I think I've described it as this mysterious assassin. And nobody knows who he is, but everybody knows who he is. And it just too superhero-y. I didn't get into it. And then I read Nevernight, and now I wanted to read more fantasy assassin stuff. And this was, when you look up fantasy assassin books, this one comes up, City of Lies by Sam Hawke. Only, like a lot of assassin books, not a lot of assassinating. There's an assassination attempt on the king, but, you know, when your lead character is supposed to be an assassin and they're not really, even Robin Hobb's assassin books, I think there was one scene in there where the king said, go kill this guy. And he goes, okay. And he gets in disguise, has a party, slips something to drink. There's only one time there's an actual assassination goes on in there. This is more like the king has a bodyguard. He's called a poisoner. So whenever the king eats any meal, he has to be there to sample and see if he can taste the poison in it. And at one point, the king's like, I just had this one thing. He's like, oh, crap. And he wound up getting poisoned, had to save him, all this good stuff. There's an invasion going on at this time. There is some magical happenings in the background. There's a pretty good mythology created with this. And it all takes place in the city. Well done. Good reading, good writing, suspenseful. This hits every mark that you want in a book. Unfortunately, it does have a sequel, which I didn't make it 100 pages. I don't know what happened. Just did not appeal to me at all. It just wasn't. It did not snap and pop like this one in City of Lies. Side bonus, white cover. I started reading Blom, also known as Blame, but Blom, which is just one of the most amazing looking things you can read. I've only read the first 2 omnibuy. I think there's 6 or 7, and I intend to finish this one day, but I haven't gone on. Just too busy, too much to read, so I kind of put this to the side for a bit. But eventually, I will get to those. Number 8, Gravy, a book you're not totally sure why you love, but you do. Now, I guess this qualifies as a decent enough answer. So, well, maybe I do know I liked it because it's very well written. This is by Gregory Maguire, Wicked. Good timing, too, because the Wicked movie came out. And the thing that I think that knocked me off was that, you know, I'm expecting this backstory of the Wicked Witch of the West and how she gets into magic and she does magical things. She's a witch. No, she's just a person in this. She doesn't do any magic in this. I kept waiting for her to figure out Hocus Pocus and Eye of Newt and Winged Bat and all that. And that doesn't really take place in this. Or maybe I'm remembering wrong and she kind of does a little, but it's so vague and it's not the focus if I'm maybe making a mistake there. But no, this is not. I was waiting for lady becomes a witch and learns magic, and she doesn't do that. She was a wonderful character. This is really good writing. I did not continue the series. There's a whole series of stuff on every single one of the characters. It's good stuff. It just wasn't what I wanted, but I liked it anyway. I suppose that qualifies. I don't know if I'm gonna go out in theaters and see the film though. Pumpkin Pie, a dessert book that you love. There's quick and sweet, I guess. So this is something I've mentioned a couple of times: the Dictionary the Dictionary of Obscure Sorrows by John Koenig. There's have a look at it there. It's definitions of words that don't really exist. Every once in a while, I'll grab one. I think it's just something to occasionally read, pick up and read and put down, not to have all the time. Does that make sense? Harmonoia, sort of like paranoia, an itchy sense of dread an itchy sense of dread when life feels just a hint too peaceful, when everyone seems to get along suspiciously well, with an eerie stillness that makes you want to brace for the inevitable collapse or burn it down yourself. This is, I've read a few here and there. I have not sat down and read the whole book. I think that's all there is. Was there something I was missing? Oh, yeah, bonus Black Friday. The top 5 books on your I want to buy them list. So I had a little hard time trying to find, because I really don't look too far into the future. I just maybe check every once in a while for a sequel to something. So I decided to hit Goodreads. I'm going to scroll down a little bit. So there was a few things that popped out. So here's The Devils, and in parentheses, The Devils as in a series. So here's The Devils #1 by Joe Abercrombie. I really liked First Law. However, I tried to read Best Served Cold and just nothing. I did not finish it at all. It just wasn't I didn't expect it to be the same as the First Law books, but I couldn't get into it at all. But I do know this guy's a really good writer, so The Devils, I might check that out. Some titles that jumped out here. This might be the boring part, and I don't edit, so you're going to have to bear with me just a little bitty bit. I think, as I recall, Scalzi has something coming out. Oh, here's it's called The Martian Contingency, Lady Astronaut Universe #4. I guess correctly that this is, it's by Mary Robinette Cowell, and she has a series of books. It starts with Calculating the Stars, The Fated Sky, The Relentless Moon, and now this one. Oh, my thing went away here. Why'd you do that to me? The Martian Contingency. So I seems like something right up my alley, but I put it off and didn't go for it. So, but since it caught my eye, I might sometime next year try and give it a shot. Scrolling, the Crimson something or other, the Mercy, Psychopomp. This is funny because this is for next year. I checked. It says looking forward to 2025, but for some reason the Black Tongue Thief, Black Tongue #1, is on this, but that was published at least a couple years ago, and I got it on the shelf over here. So somebody made a little mistake. Maybe they meant to put #2, and if so, or is that out already? I don't know. I didn't look to continue it. Not really sure there. There was at least one other as I scrolled down here. The Fourth Consort. I'll read just a little bitty bit here. This is by Edward Ashton. Let me expand this because my eyes are horrible. A new standalone. Standalone, not a series. What do you know? That's a novel idea. From Edward Ashton, author of Mickey 7, I heard, I think, mostly good stuff about that. Soon to be a major motion picture. Oh, so Mickey 7 is going to be a movie. Dalton Greaves is a hero. He is one of humankind's first representatives to unity, a pan-species confederation working to bring all sentient life into a single benevolent brotherhood. That's what they told him anyway. The only actual members of the unity that he's ever met are Boro, a giant snail who seems more interested in plunder than spreading love and harmony, and Borrow's human sidekick Nira, who Dalton strongly suspects roped him into this gig so that she wouldn't become the next one of Borrow's crew to get eaten by locals while prospecting. So that title and description got my attention. So that's really all. Well, like I said, get done with Exodus. This will be next. And then hopefully I get One Piece done. And then I guess there'll be some kind of end of the year thing. Some end of the year book tag, Christmas book tag, something like that. Top 10 list, top 5 list. I don't know about top 5 good and bad. At least I'll try to do a top 10 list. I've read a lot of books this year. I really got a lot done. I didn't expect to. I was down to like a couple books a month, and then it kicked into high gear, especially when I was on for 5 minutes. And well, here you go. Get into the Christmas spirit. I do live by myself, so sometimes I don't necessarily always put up a Christmas tree. So I thought, well, while I got this Dresden thing here, maybe the next time you see me, I'm going to put some lights on my Dresden books here, and a wreath or something, and have a Dresden Books Christmas tree. I'll try. Forgive me if I don't. That's it. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. Turkey and stuffing. I'm a stuffing person. I love stuffing so much. I'm going to get some of that today. Chicken, turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes, hopefully a good roll with butter. That's it. Thank you very much. I needed to scratch this itch because I got used to making 2 videos a week, and now I'm down to 1 every week and a half. I hope not. Thank you. Have a good time. I'll see you next time.